Thorney Weir is a mature 20-acre day ticket pit that anyone can fish, homing hundreds of amazing carp that anyone would want to fish for. But I'm not here for me. I've got a few days to catch a double, a 20 and a 30, and for every one of these milestones I tick off, I get to give away prizes to you. And trust me, you'll be hoping that I do exactly that. I'm Tom Maker, this is Thorney Weir. Let's win you some tackle. The challenge started where every fishing session starts for me. Nailing a coke in the car park, do this, before pushing a carp halter full of tackle to the starting swim of choice. But prior to this, I had a walk around to see what was free and where the carp was showing. And it quickly became apparent that there was a lot of carp up the top end of the lake in an area controlled by River Point and Danny's. Although River Point was occupied for another night, Danny's was free, and I was absolutely buzzing about that. With prizes on the line, I wasted no time in finding the opening spots, casting a bare lead towards the left of the pylon at 22 wraps. I knew before I came down here that they'd recently had a weed boat in here cutting all the weed. I know that Thorny Weir is very shallow. The weed boat is going to get a lot of that weed off the bottom, but as is always the case, when the weed boat is dragging that weed around, there's going to be a lot of low-lying debris on the bottom. Now, I favour using a spinner rig for obvious reasons. It's great presentation, it's got fantastic hooking potential, but the boom that I would normally use would be an IQ2 fluorocarbon boom, which has an element of stiffness in it. Now, with the bottom of the lake being very silty, there being a lot of debris on the bottom, I know that that is going to hinder the presentation. But instead of changing from the spinner to a completely different presentation, all I've done is I've kept the spinner section exactly the same. I've just changed the boom to 8 to 10 inches of 20-pound dark matter, which is an uncoated braid. I know that that's going to go out there, it's going to follow the contours of the lake, and it's going to mean that my hook bait is presented every time perfectly for when a carp comes along. With both pop-up hook baits deployed onto the silty area at 22 wraps, I got to work in knocking up a bait mix to complement them. Hemp, sweet corn, chopped krill, and I'm going to be adding some maggots into the mix as well as I go when I put the bait out. The fizzing all over the lake is enough to show me that the carp are digging through that freshly cut weed looking for the naturals, and the maggots will help replicate that situation. Although you can use a bait boat at Thorny, I think the slightly wider spread of a spawn will be less likely to spook the carp when they come across the area. That's the first spot done, and they, let me tell you, could not have gone any better. I'm going to find a little area down to my right hand side. There's a bit of out of bounds away from there. I think there's going to be a few fish passing, so that's having 15, that's having 5, and I'm having tea. Unlike the first two rods, I decided to bait the shorter rod with just boilie, with the plan of rebaiting efficiently and accurately via a catapult should the rod go off during the hours of darkness. A tactic that I could be putting into practice a lot sooner than I anticipated. This bite has come out of absolutely nowhere. Haven't seen a fish show near this short rod, nothing. It's just dropped right back to the floor, almost a little bit hesitant to pick it up, and I'm into a Thorny Weir carp. But what this means is if this goes into the net, and if it's a double, a 20 or a 30, it means that one of you lovely people is going to win yourself a prize. It's a lovely carp. Yes! One of you's got a prize. Off the mark. £25 and 10 ounces. But I never expected to catch one that quick. Check that out. Now, I didn't expect to be holding up a Thorny Weir carp quite this early on into the session. As is always the case on any shoot, the first day is pretty manic, and today has been no exception. In fact, I didn't even know what peg I was going to end up fishing in tonight, and I certainly didn't expect to be holding my first carp within a couple of hours of starting the session. And at £25 and 10 ounces, it means that one of you lovely people at home is going to win a brand new compact framed carryall. And to find out how you can be in with a chance of winning these amazing prizes that we've been allowed to give away, watch to the end of the video where I will explain exactly how you can be in with a chance. Thorny Weir, we're just getting started. If only I knew at the time just what was to come. I'll catch my breath before I give anything else away. With my breath back, I reset the rod before catapulting another 50 baits over the top. There's another fish just showed in shore. Just thought I'll see if I can get some boilies out to it, and it's such a great way of fishing. It's nice and clean, nice and easy, and if we're going to progress through this challenge, one of the fish that we've got to try and catch is a 30-pounder. And we all know that bigger carp love the boilies. So I'm hoping that this right-hander, it's just under 25, it's going to produce a 30. The rods were set, poised, ready for whatever the first night at Thorney Weir had in store for us. So what we have here is a yellowfin tuna steak on a bed of pasta that has been tossed in pesto and served. The hours of darkness proved just as productive as those before it, with this 24-pound common kicking things off on the right-hand rod again. I feel really big carp though. Tubby Earn. And then this carbon copy shortly after, once again on the right-hand rod, but this time £3 bigger at £27, leaving the 30 and double-figure pound prize still yet to be unlocked. We weren't finished just yet. Come on, that's a proper Thorny Weir gold, that is. Yes! That is a proper nice carp. Don't think it's going to win anyone a prize. Well, that's definitely a prize for me. You wait till you see this. This is going way better than I ever expected it to do. Look at that. True to form at this time of year, right on the cusp of first light. That right-hand rod is pulled round again for the 4th time. But check this out, 29 of Thorny Weir fully scaled, you know. And the reason we chose this venue, not only because we believe it's a venue where I'm going to be able to complete this challenge, but every single bite that you get out of here is a very, very special carp. And whilst it doesn't unlock a prize, we have still got a couple of days left. So there is plenty of time yet. There's a fair few swims come available last night, so there's options to move today, and you just never know, that next bite could just unlock another prize. I was buzzing, chuffed. To have already caught 4 carp unlocking one of 3 prizes was a great start. But we needed better than a great start, and I couldn't afford to sit on my hands any longer. The gear is on the barrow and I'm on the move. Now whilst I've already ticked off catching a 20-pounder, I've still got a double and a 30 to try and catch during my session here on Thorny. Last night I caught all of my carp on 1 rod. Obviously I'm fishing with 3 rods, and I think to complete this challenge I need to get all 3 of those rods producing fish. Now when I turned up yesterday, an angler in a peg known as River Point is due to be leaving today. It's a peg that's been doing quite a few fish from different areas as well. So straight away I'm hoping that I can get 3 rods going, and I think in order to complete this challenge I'm going to have to get bites on multiple rods. So here we go, off to River Point. River Point was full of potential areas, from a large sunken barge out to my left to a carpy looking far margin. But I chose to ignore both of these, starting with my right hand margin as well as finding an area in the open water out in front of me that I could bait heavily with boilies. Something I rarely do, but on this occasion I think it could be a game changer. Now when I arrived here yesterday at Thorny, it was evident straight away that there was a lot of small fish. Now I'm an angler, as you all know, that likes to use a real small bitty mix, hemp, sweet corn, chopped and mulched up boilies and little pellets. And I did go out with that on 2 of the rods out into the middle of the lake, but very, very quickly it was like a jacuzzi over it. I knew it wasn't carp or tench because I wasn't getting any indication. There was just sheets and sheets of bubbles coming up, and straight away I sussed out that the small carp, as soon as you put any particles of bait that they can eat, are going to be instantly on it. Switching over to a boilie only approach. Now, making a switch to boilies, I feel, has made a massive difference. They're big items of bait. Yes, the small carp are going to be attracted to them, but they're soon going to get bored when they're realising that they're not going to get anything from them. So, with that being said, I baited both my margin and my open water spot with boilies, before sitting back, watching the world go by, silently praying that the hours of darkness were just as productive as the previous night. It has taken a little while to get another bite, but we are in to a carp of River Point. Carp, and that I know is a double. I'm happy to catch a carp anytime, but I'm really happy to catch a double because that is another prize unlocked. Come on. Yes! 2 down, 1 to go. That right there is just under £19, which means we've unlocked another prize. Yes, yes. The move has definitely been worth it. The left-hand rod that was fished out in the open water on that spot that I found has just absolutely ripped off. And this carp right here, £19 of Thorney Weir common carp. And what this means is I've unlocked another prize for you guys and girls back at home. The prize for catching a double is a rig bundle consisting of all of the components that I've used to make the rigs that I'm using here on Thorny. We've still got a bit of time to go. It's the toughest challenge yet now is to catch a 30-pounder, but there's plenty of them out there, and trust me, the prize for catching a 30-pounder is really, really special. Even though it is 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to get this fish back, rod back out there, a little bit more bait over the top, because if that next bite is a 30-pounder and I complete this challenge, I am going to be one happy angler. The beauty of getting your horizon markers dialed in during the daylight hours is that it's much easier recasting when the light disappears, helping to build those bites accurately no matter the time of day. Well, good morning, and what a lovely sunrise we are getting in the background as well. I'm in to another carp. It's gone a little bit mad on the bait that I put out last night, and yeah, I'm into one now. I had a couple of other really nice ones, and we need one more to complete the challenge, which is a 30-pounder. Got another night to go, and if the action can carry on like this, I'm hoping that that 30-pounder isn't going to be too far away. Just under £28. That'll do for me. Good. At just under £28, this is the biggest of 4 that I've had so far since moving round to River Point. All of the fish have come from the open water spot, which was to be expected overnight and into the morning, but as the day goes on, it is going to look more and more promising around those snag areas. We've got a little bit of sun coming through. I've got a feeling today is going to be a good day. We need one more fish to complete the hat trick, and that is a 30 pounder. Given the time of year, this probably was a 30 pounder before it spawned. Obviously we can't count it. Just under 28 pound, second biggest one of the trip so far, but there's going to be more and bigger to come. As the sun rose, so did my confidence of a bite from the snag rod. The rod that I put down the right hand margin is just absolutely wrapped round. No prior warning, straight round, and me being the athletic type that I am, I was on it in a flash. Well, it might not be the 30 pounder that we need, but it is another bite. The more we keep catching, we are edging one closer to unlocking that final prize. Come on. As is always the case in all of the fishing that I do, I like to remain consistent and also as accurately as what I possibly can be. Now, baiting with a catapult, I was a little bit rusty to start with, but I've soon got the hang of it, you know, and I can bait in an area probably as big as a ground sheet where I'm fishing. You've got to remember, all the weed that's been cut hasn't been moved around in any big winds because we haven't had any, so it's all sunk down. But as soon as those fish start feeding, that's going to clear that area, and by keep baiting that area regularly and consistently, that is what I feel keeps getting me the bites. And much like I do when it comes to spomming the bait out, with the catapult I will put exactly the same amount of boilers out after each fish. I've always done it, it's more down to habit now, but I think consistency is a massively big edge when it comes to carp fishing, and certainly when it comes to stringing a number of bites together. So on that note, I remain consistent, regularly baiting both the margin rod that had now produced a bite and the open water rods that had produced the majority of bites so far in River Point. And before we could take a look at the carp from the margin, the open water rod was away again. Just about to take a look at that carp that I've just had from the snag, and the middle rod on the bait is away again. Crazy. Well, I said it wouldn't be long before those rods up against the snag started to produce, and here we go. If we can keep catching, all three rods are going now. I just don't think a 30 is going to be far away, but who's complaining when you're getting regular bites with an average size of carp of over 20 pound? Check that out for an amazing Thorney Weir carp. It is simply unreal. But like I keep saying, we need one more to make it the full house. It all comes down to this. I've had an amazing couple of days already at Thorney Weir and caught some lovely, lovely carp, but there is still one prize left to unlock, and I've got just one night left to try and catch a 30 pounder. So I'm fishing a little whittled down 12mm pop-up, and I've got on top of there as well a little 12mm pop-up that I've shaved in half and just trimmed the edges down to sit on top, so that rig sinks nice and slowly and nestles above any low-lying debris on the bottom. Following on from there, up to my favoured lead clip system, and I've got just a 2-ounce lead, the smallest lead that I can get away with. Where they've cut the weed, the bottom of the lake is very, very soft. The last thing that I want to be doing is chucking a heavy lead out and that lead sinking down into that soft silt and hindering my presentation. So again, like I always do with my angling, I keep it very, very simple, fish to the conditions that are out in front of me. This rig has already caught me multiple carp. I'm putting it out now, and I'm hoping that the next time it rips off, it's a 30 pounder. With only a few hours remaining, it was out of my hands. The components that one of you will be winning is clearly doing the do, and hopefully they'll be winning someone the £30 prize as well. They certainly do not mind a spom on the red. about 3.5 feet of water. We're on it almost instantly. Another one that unfortunately isn't going to unhook any more prizes, but it is another carp. Now wasn't the time to slow down. As always, I left the carp resting for a moment whilst resetting the rod. We needed every second we could get, especially when I couldn't keep 3 rigs in the water. The combination of right area, consistent baiting and fishing the right rig over the top had really started causing carnage. It was really starting to take its toll. I'm very tired. Please, please, the next one be a 30-pounder. Unfortunately, this one wasn't. And neither was this one. To be honest, it felt like that 30 was just one step too far. In normal circumstances, I'd have been absolutely over the moon with how this session had gone, landing multiple carp using slightly different tactics than normal. Tubby earn. But when fishing to win prizes for you, the only goal was to keep chipping away, praying that the next one would swing the dial round to the number we needed it to. But time was running out. This was it, the final chance. The first carp wouldn't be enough. But the second carp, would the second carp be the one? If not, at least we had the third, and this one looked big. Yes! That was a really nice, easy netting. Just what I want after having a hard night on the rods, shall we say. It's been a slog, but it's been well worth it, because not only have I caught a double, a 20, and potentially a 30, but there's a chance that I'm going to have unlocked all of the prizes. If I look tired, I can only apologise. It has been an absolutely awesome night and early morning period of angling. I don't think I've caught this many carp in such a short space of time for quite some while. This fish here, we had to get it out to show you. Look how nice it is. This was one of almost a triple take coming just after first light. But look at that, a proper piece of Thorny Weir gold. And the other two that I've got in the net are a little bit bigger than this, and I've got a funny feeling that one of them might just break that 30-pound barrier, which means that I'll unlock the final prize, which, let me tell you, is an amazing set of 3 Kaizen Green 4-pound 12'6" rods with a divide rod holder. All I've got to hope now is when I put it on the scales, it goes over that magical mark. But check that out, what a wood carving. Unreal, another one. Here we go. This is the one that I think might be over. Yes! She is 30 pound and 12 ounces, which means I have fully completed the giveaway challenge of catching a double, a 20 and a 30. I've got to be honest with you, it's been hard graft. I know it might not look hard graft, and don't get me wrong, it is a nice job to have, but I didn't think a 30-pounder was coming my way. It's been hard going, not just the fishing itself, but the mosquitoes have been relentless, certainly through the hours of darkness. We're all, so both me and Kai are running on very little sleep, but we've done it. A double, a 20, and a 30, mission complete. Well, there he is, the carp that has just unlocked the third and final prize, which is a set of 3 12'6", 4-pound test curve Kaizen greens with a divide rod holdall. I'm simply blown away. It has been an unbelievable session. I don't fish down here at Thorny nowhere near as much as what I know I should do. Over 20 carp landed, one of those below 20, all the rest above. Simply unbelievable. And I'm sure now you all want to know how you can win one of these 3 fantastic prizes. Quite simply, head on over, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a comment down in the comment section below when you've done that, and we're going to pick 3 winners a short time after this video is uploaded. That's it from me, that's it from Mr. Carp. I'll see you on the bank sometime. Mission complete.